Hey everyone, and welcome to today's deck profile for Green Yellow Law of set 11 of the One Piece TCG. This is another leader that got a lot of support in set 11, and also be on the lookout for the starter decks. The Green Bonnie starter deck has some really nice support for this deck, having a really good 2-cost searcher that could replace Caramel, right? This is just an on-play draw card versus the new, I think, Kid Killer searcher. Does open up some more avenues, and it's another 2-cost. Really nice to get even more support. This is a kind of complicated leader with how many lines there are, how many combos you can do in terms of the value from your Don, right? Especially once you get to 7 Don with this bad boy right here, and the possibility of Cavendish. Like you can be bouncing a lot of things, getting a lot of recurring value from searchers by playing them out, bouncing them back, replaying them, playing them back out again with the bounce law blocker, right? There opens up a lot of really cool combos you can do with how much you can keep your hand size up, how much you can be efficient with your Don. So it is a deck that you can put a lot of practice in. I'll be the first to say that I haven't put a ton of practice into the leader, but it is a very fun one to check out. And like I said, get a lot of support in the current set, and has, from what I've heard, a decent time into Blue Purple Luffy, and some other matchups in the meta. I'm not saying that he's like the best, but definitely in the hands of a skilled pilot for sure could have some very good success. But hey, I just like Law. I had the hoodie back when I was a kid, right? Watching the show, I had his hoodie from back in Saba hoodie, right? Like I'm not claiming to be anything but a Law, like fan, right? But it's a fun leader and can do very well. Let's get into this though. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and if you want to support me, check out the links in the description. I've got a coupon code for Nen Garden Straw Hat Pecan for 5% off on top of their summer sale, which they're running right now. A lot of dope playmats you can pick up. Speak of, there's well, it's sold out, but the room playmat. There is a lot of other things, including a new final boss Pokemon playmat that looks really nice. Very nice stuff. Check out in the description if you want to support me and pick up a dope playmat at the same time. Let's get into it. We've got 4 Cavendish. Obviously, being able to restand 2 Don on play when attacking is very crucial. Before we get into it, the leader building. Green, yellow, 4 life, 5k power. Don times 1 active main once per turn. If the total cost of your characters is 5 or more, you return one of them to your hand. Reveal the top card of your life. If that card is a supernova character with a cost of 5 or less, you can play it. Important note, you don't have to play it. So you can still pick up that card from board, primarily like a searcher or a veggie, right? You can pick that card up to get more counter in your hand or search again with it, right? And then just choose not to play it out, even if it meets the requirements. So we've got 4 Cavendish, great to resend Don. 4 the blocker Law, on play return one of your characters to your hand. They can play out a 3 or less. Nice to combat with another blocker, or right, X Drake to rest a card, or a searcher again. Got 2 Kid. Against a few different matchups in the meta, this can still be really good to save you. Against Blue Purple Luffy, they're still swinging pretty high into them. So don't know if you can really afford to defend it so much and rely on that aspect of it, but still a lot of matchups you can really utilize Kid very well. Again, like I said, you are bouncing and replaying searchers all the time, so your hand size can get quite big, or at least stay pretty consistent. Then we got the 5-drop Bonnie. On play, one of your opponent's rested characters or Don will become active. This is great for keeping people off of 10 Don, or keeping a big body locked down. Right, against Blue Purple Luffy, a lot of times they're going to be playing something out for 9 Don, like a 9-cost Sanji into another big body, then leave 1 Don open for Gum Gum Giant. If you keep them off of 10 Don, that means they can't use Giant and play out 2 big bodies, so having to make them pick is very nice. We got the Bonnie Searcher, rest yourself in a Don for a Supernova. We got 2 of the Restand Law that restands one of your 5 or less Supernova cards. Very nice to restand the Cavendish to get an extra 2 Don for that turn, right? Because his isn't once per turn. We got just our draw 1. Again, this can kind of get replaced, I think, when the star decks come out. Then we got the Veggie 2k counter. You add top card from your life or bottom. Add a Supernova type character so that you can play it out. Same with Bonnie. Her effect is pretty much the same, except she's a 3/4/1 blocker. Again, you don't have to do the effect, so you can just play her off of Law or Kid to get a blocker out. Then we got our Monkey D. Luffy Searcher for Supernova. Really nice to play this out early so that you can bounce back a lead ability again later, just get more and more value. Got X-Drake, rest himself. If your life is equal or less than your opponent's, you can rest a 4 cost. This is nice because you can use his effect and then bounce him back with your lead ability so that he's protected, right? And then play him out again a following turn with like Law or Kid. Then we got our secret rare for the deck, the 7/9 Law that lets you heal with a Supernova character. And then if your leader Supernova, you could put a Rested Dawn on your leader so you can use leader ability. Very nice. So that on curve for 7 Dawn, you can use leader ability, playing out a 7/9 and like a 5/6 is pretty good value. And then we got the new cards. This Beji is super good for the deck. He's a 2/1/1 blocker. Once per turn of one of your Supernova type characters other than Beji would be removed from field due to your opponent's effects, you may add that card to the to your life, top of your life, face down instead. So really nice protection for removal. Super, super good. Then we got Zeus. A lot of yellow decks are running this card. It's just really nice value for the Dawn, right? 2 Dawn to KO a 5 cost, and then you have to take top card of your life to your hands, but it's a 2k counter, not searchable in our deck, and taking a life can be pretty scary, but for 2 Dawn to get rid of a blocker and possibly go for game is pretty crucial, right? Or not crucial, but pretty good. So 4 copies of that. That's the list. Like I said, this will probably change as soon as the starter decks come out, but honestly, a lot of things are going to change as soon as the starter decks come out that are pretty meta relevant or even off meta. Like there's a lot of lists. So I want to play around this leader inside 11 because of this card. It's super dope. And yeah, the combos you can pull off with this deck are like, it makes you feel really smart. It makes you feel like you're really good at the game when you're like getting 15 Dawn worth of value on your 7 Dawn turn, and you get to play out like 3 characters and swing 6k 3 times and all that good stuff and search twice. It kind of gets crazy, but yeah, that's the deck list. Let me know what you think of Law down in the comments, and let's get into some games. We got Luffy. Let's take first from you, and this seems like a pretty decent hand given that we have Cavendish and we have a Searcher that we can pick up later. We can play out Bonnie even just for effect to have characters on the board. Let's pick up Law. That was a really good hand to pick from, honestly. There was a lot there. All right, tempting to pick up the Bonnie Searcher. Ooh, let's just swing 5. Probably play out our blocker Bonnie so that way we have more Dawn next turn. We'll have 4 Dawn for your lead ability. We don't need to put any, we don't even need to use the effect, just play her out. And then pass. Next turn, we can do a lot, actually. It depends on what we draw, too. I guess we could have kept Bonnie. Never mind. Yeah, we should have kept Bonnie to guarantee our lead ability next turn. To see what we pick up. We'll take. Okay, okay. See, I knew we were going to get it, guys. We just always get it. Let's go Bonnie. Take top. That was kind of crazy. We'll go 6. Use ability, pick you back up, play you out, get a bunch more Dawn, and we can search twice. We have too many things. We have too many things. Kind of want a 2k counter here. Blocker Law is also really nice. The restand Law could have been good too, but we just don't have a lot of counter. But now maybe we'll find more counter here. Honestly, if we go 2 secret rares in a row, that could be really nice for us. And then hit him for 7. Hopefully he takes to kind of delay him from ramping. He didn't ramp. Oh no, yeah, he didn't ramp on his 4 Dawn turn. I guess you don't need to if you're just gonna get to 7. You just need to ramp on the 6 Dawn turn. We probably will just block out a few times just to get space on our board, right? So taking down to 2. Maybe we should have kept Resend Law just because he's gonna take, yeah. Let's block out 1. Swings 5. We're gonna pick up a card to play out Law and then another card. So yeah, we can just block, honestly, because we can just get a lot of value back from our searchers, replaying them back out. Rush Sanji, interesting. Okay, so he's gonna swing there. We'll go 2K. We can keep that stunned. That's actually really good for us. So we'll use Law, go Bonnie, give Don there. Let's pick you back up. Bonnie, go there. Let's swing 6 at life, and I can swing 7 and just play out another, or I can play out a blocker. So what do I want? I think I'd like to apply a 7K swing because he has a decent sized hand, so I'd like to get a 2K, 1K. Okay. Yep, 2K. 2K, that's even better. Then what do we want to play out? Honestly, Restand Law could be our go for game next turn, or just apply a ton of pressure because we have he's kind of expensive way to play it out, but we can always swing Bonnie pretty heavily. Let's go 1K. Hopefully he wants to play out like a Luffy Taro, which if I'm him, I'm probably going to keep a Gum Gum Giant Don open. Maybe not, because then that'll set you back. He didn't ramp a ton this game. And he Don minus with the Sanji too. So yeah, if he Don minuses and then uses Luffy Taro, he's going to be pretty far back. He's at 7, so if he uses Giant, I'll put him back down to 5. We'll stay healthy. We could always pivot to have using the kid. But yeah, this is actually just insane how much value we'll get here. But we have to play over top of one of our searchers. So let's go here, put you and then you. And then I can swing like a bunch of 7s, right? Yeah, fair enough. Did he have Giant? He didn't even have Giant, and that's a lot of bricks, truthfully. That is a lot of bricks. He had a 2K, 1K out of hand, but yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't have even got the Giant from life. What do we have out of our life? A 2K and a 1K, so we might have been able to survive, but yeah, we had game for sure. We would have 7K from the restand. I think another 7 and a 9. At least there might have been more Don in there because that gets you back 4 Don for the turn. So we would have had 6 active Don. Would have been kind of crazy. All right, we got Luffy, and we get to go first. Pretty decent, I guess. We can work with this. All right, we have a way to use our lead ability on Curve if he ramps really, really fast. Let's search. Bottom decking 2 of these does suck, but picking up a Cavendish seems really good too. But bottom decking 2 of them sucks. But Cavendish is good. I think priority should be, since we have 2 of these here, but we don't have another Cavendish. We have 3 more Cavendish in the deck to find, but only 2 more Secret Rare. And the Secret Rare does seem like pretty decent in here. We might play out Bet. So what do we do on 5 Don to get out the Don we need? He's going to swing here, right? So that means we can actually use Veggie. So let's take top. There's a Cavendish. That's kind of perfect, actually. But now he knows that's there. But if he doesn't swing here, you know, we're good. If he plays out Zoro to ramp him the next turn, we can... I don't want to use that, actually. Because, again, the Cavendish is there. Yep. 4 Don. It could be Bonclet. Yeah. We'd also like to hit that, right? Let's search, see what we pick up. Bonnie's perfect, actually. This is actually kind of coming along. Yeah, I don't think we can use lead ability this turn. I can. Do I prioritize getting rid of the Bonclet and eating up a 6K swing? Because if I play out the... But then I have a blocker. Yeah, and I'd like to rush him, right? No ability. So let's use lead ability, pick up the searcher just because we can get that back out immediately. Oh wait, I can. But then is that too expensive? I'm going down to 2 life. That is crazy though. 7 Dawn, I can heal next turn. Am I really trying to rush him like that? Yeah, sure. Take, pop. Because next turn I get to stun him if he gets Crazy Dawn with the Law into Bonnie, or I also always have the Blocker Law combo to pick up a bunch of my stuff, right? Pick up a lot of my counter. I can get back 2 of these 2Ks next turn and like replay a Searcher, which would really help us. There's so many possibilities in this deck. That's why it's like the lines are kind of crazy. I think we want to block this out because we'll go to 1 life next turn anyway. Hey! Fair enough. Golly. All right, let's see. What do I want to do then? Let's go here. Take top. It's crazy. Play out our restand. But that's honestly good for us. He didn't ramp, so he won't be able to use leader ability next turn. Let's go. How much do I want to pressure? I think 8 is actually a good number. Okay. Yeah, we can really pressure. Let's go here. We can also play out a blocker too. Let's pick up Veggie, play out restand, go there. Let's play out you. Let's go 8 again, so then we can go 9. Very nice, and then we have 2 blockers out. Get a bunch of his cards out of his hand. Go bam. And now if he plays out like a Big Mom, right, because it'll be at 9. He can't remove the... Well, it's going to go to life anyway. So yeah, well then, yeah. I don't know. Then we'll pass. So yeah, not bad turn, even though we got hit with the, we would have kept him at, wait, what did that put to my life? Did that put Veggie, wait, what? Put the, the Bonnie went to my bottom, the top life. Okay, so Bonnie's at the top life? Okay, fair enough. Okay, I don't think is that how that's supposed to work? Yeah, that should work, right? Because if you were to Gravity Blade, for example, like the 6 cost Basil Hawkins, like that condition would have, I could have rested that, right? Yes, so it's similar how the 2 cost Rosinante KOing effect works, where if he were to play out instead of Grav Blade, for example, if it was like Rob Lucci and he played out the 4 cost Rob Lucci that KOs 2 things at the same time, even though the target of the KO was this Bonnie and the Veggie's effect will still be able to activate to basically save the other card. He still gets hit by the effect though. So yes, do be on the lookout. It's another one of those similar effects that can save themselves from a simultaneous removal, right? Same with a board wipe even. You know, if you played out like Kaido Linlin or the purple Kaido that KOs everything. The Veggie, the Rosinante, all that kind of stuff saves the other card while still being the target of the removal themselves. So they'll get bottom decked, they'll get KO'd, but the other card, right, we just got to heal. So that was kind of crazy. And then next turn we would have just went for game, right? He had no blocker, 2 Dawn, no giant even in hand. So like a big swing would just got us it, right? Okay, we got Belo Betty. We're taking second from them. And decent, very decent. Our whole goal, not die, right? So this would be a game where 8 cost Kid could help us. However, running the 2 cost Belo Betty and Karsu, even like that kind of power reduction eats through the 8 cost Kid, right? So you can't really rely on that in this kind of a matchup. Our best bet is like, you know, Bonnie can be very good for keeping them off of Dawn, keeping some board locked down possibility. Zeus is good removal, however, it's at the cost of taking a life. I'm going to use the Carmel so it's Dawn on the board that they can't just swing into immediately. Honestly, I probably will just counter out. The 7 cost is very good for us too. hitting it a turn after, right? Like going first on 7 Dawn, hitting this feels really great. 8 Dawn, still nice, but you know. Yeah, putting a Belo Betty on off of their going second curve just delays the Ivankov into Karasu a turn, which can mean the difference of saving you, right? But we'll see. So at most, it's either they play... Okay, that's actually the best we could hope for, right? And we got another 2K. So that is kind of perfect. Having nothing on board is really rough for Belo. So next turn, we won't be able to use leader ability. No, not if I don't know, not that I'd maybe want to. I don't know. We'd hope for like maybe a blocker law. But we'll see. Waiting for them to pass back turn. They probably forgot to. It's okay. I forgive you. See what a top deck is. Honestly, pretty decent hand for just like having the counter, and then Cavendish, obviously. Having Cavendish on board that can't really get removed. Ooh, let's see. This could be interesting. We won't be able to use leader ability though. Yeah. Veggie. That could be good too. Just as a blocker. Actually, we can just double search because they'll only be able to swing into 1. Unless they take this life and it's a trigger where you have to trash a card to play it out. If it's one of the newer ones, they wouldn't be able to because our total life isn't at 5 or less. But the double search, good. Hopefully you can pick up a blocker law. Right. Ooh, did they get one? No. Okay, good for us. They could always... There we go. Ignore the searchers and just go face, right? But next turn we can play out 2 blockers, or I can play out Cavendish and a blocker or something like that. Probably just play out 2 blockers. If I have something to use leader ability with. Karasu, just Karasu is actually kind of fine for us. Do I counter out of this? I have hand size. Maybe, yeah. We had the hand size to do it, and staying at 3 life is not bad, because then... Oh no, the second they take that life and go down to 2, then that total is 5, so... Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll do this. Play out Bonnie, take top life. Play this card in the KO one of your 2 or less characters. Actually could have been relevant in this matchup. We'll put Cav to life. So let's search. Pick up 2K, just more counter, right? And then search again. We'll have 2 Dons, so we can play another blocker. I actually could have picked back up the... Alright, she's not really going for the board, right? We'll play out the... Or I could also search again. But we'll play out another blocker. Because this activates on my turn too. So if he got something that would KO one of my characters, not that I don't think Belo Betty decks are running it, right? This effect doesn't specify your turn or opponents. So it's kind of... I think Tashigi has the same effect. The green 2K Tashigi. Yeah, now we got 2 blockers. We got a Cavendish on board. Next turn we can just heal. And we have a really good hand size because we were able to use 2 turns worth of searchers, right? So we essentially went +2 in hand size by letting those Bonnies live on the board. We got an extra 2 cards from them. Got the new Sabo out. Interesting. I debated using this in my Belo list. I'm just really happy that they added so much in the Revolutionary Army type that, like, you've got options now for Belo Betty. I wonder if this card works too well in the Red-Black Sabo leader. Could be. So we buffs. Did he just buff the Karasu? Because you'd want to buff. You can buff the yeah, I don't know. Let's block to get more space on our board for next turn. Honestly, because we can play out a blocker next turn. Yeah, we kind of want to block out with both, realistically, just to save ourselves more hits. Because the next turn we'll be at 2 life still, and then, yeah, no, I shouldn't be able to counter out from this. I should have to block out. We'll just go 1k. Yeah, next turn I can play out 2 blockers with the law. So we'll block. And we can kind of get crazy with the... We might be able to go for game. But also could just be smarter to clear. So we'll put out blocker, put it down there. Draw. We'll pick up... I guess a... Do I need 3 blockers? Luffy could be good. Let's pick up... you. Put you out. Use ability. Pick you back up. Played you. No effect. Let's go 6 at 5. And then we can go 7 at 5. Is that greedy? Not really. 6 cards in hand against Belo Betty. They run limited 2Ks. We can go 7 and search again. Or I can just... Okay. Be less greedy and go 8, but... Let's see. We have 2 blockers, so I feel kind of safe. Hopefully we pick up a 2K off of this, although we have a decent chunk of 2Ks and 1Ks in here. Okay, we do get it, so that's good. And we pick up a 2K. So we'll pass. We picked up a lot of 2Ks. Still at 2 life. He would need 5 swings to get game because of our 2 blockers. Unless he had an unblockable. But we're in a decent spot. Gets the Lindbergh. I think next turn we can probably just go for game, honestly. I mean, honestly, yeah. Another Sabo. So he can kind of just buff the board for free without trashing for leader ability. But we can just kind of block out and counter out, right? So we'll block 1 and then we can just counter 1K. We'll block go 1. So yeah, unfortunate, right? We just kind of caused them to have a slower start by taking 2nd, and then they didn't have anything on 3 Dawn. So that's, you know, obviously a Belo Betty could still be a much harder matchup for us in terms of like dealing with the aggression. But yeah, sometimes you're just gonna have a slower start, and that happens. That definitely happens. They only got the Karasu out on 4 Dawn 2. Let's just go 4 cards in hand, 2 life. I think we just go for it. Worry about, like, you can be the most efficient by playing out and searching with the Bonnie. You get that 2 Dawn rested back from Cavendish anyway. See if they take, or if they counter, then that gives us a better idea. Okay, no blocker, Karasu. Ooh, okay. Fair, but we're just gonna go... we'll go 9. I think we'll probably get it off of these 2 swings. But yeah, definitely... even though you are, you know, kind of putting yourself in danger, right? Taking your life to use your lead ability. There are ways you can kind of get around it to make it safer by just, you've got this law that you can get out 2 blockers. This Cavendish, that 2-Don every turn can let you play out that 2-cost Beji. And we'll just go big swinging for game. Right, there's a lot of things you can do to pivot to kind of protect yourself. GG. Yeah, those are some games. And just to talk more about the deck, one, there's a lot of more deck building possibilities than what's here before you, obviously. Especially with those starter decks. I'm interested to see what people do with some of the newer cards. Some ratio changes, more possibilities. Just makes it even more crazy for like the lines you can take, the sequencing. There's, again, so much value you can get out. Like, honestly, it becomes a thing against some matchups. Like, I've got too many things on the board, right? So yeah, kind of have to very mindful and pick and choosing of what you want to play out in what order. Both for this turn and the turn after, you have to consider for your lead ability what you're going to be able to pick up. You know, you don't want to have to be playing over cards because then you're losing the value, right? Any card on the board can be something that you pick up back to hand for counter. You got to remember that. And again, I haven't played the deck too much. I'm not saying that I'm the best green yellow law player, obviously not, but it's a very fun deck, and it's just like a word of warning if you're going to invest in this deck. Cavendish is still very expensive and very required for this deck. Other than that, I don't think things are that expensive except for like the secret rare. That's, I think, probably still like $20, but like Cavendish is still, I don't know, probably over 30. Very expensive, and I don't know if this is going to get like reprinted. I think like people keep going back and forth, the debating of, are EBO1 cards going to get reprinted? Probably, hopefully. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, if you're looking to play this deck, be mindful that those are going to be kind of the more expensive pieces. And they're not really, like, I think ratio wise, some people have played 3 copies of the law versus 4, but Cavendish is still like a 4 of in the deck, and there's not really a way to get around that. It's just a pricier piece, right? So be mindful of that if you're going to be picking up the deck. But yeah, very, very fun leader for sure. The thought process going into each turn and setting yourself up for success on your following turn can be a lot to think about and kind of complicated, but a very fun leader to master for sure. I can see it. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Green Yellow Law, what you're excited about from the starter deck, right? Because I know there's some great pieces from that too. I'm not sure set 12 and going forward, like what other pieces he gets, but yeah, I know that from the starter deck, getting new support. So from a set 10 leader to get like new support in the following set and starter decks coming up, like that's a lot, right? So yeah, let me know what you think of Law down in the comments. Anything you would change, do differently. What are you running in your Law list? Let me know. Of course, there's always going to be more combos with a deck like this that you can think of. So yeah, let me know down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.